الحمد لله ولي الصالحين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أيها الإخوة والأخوات، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أولا نحمد الله عز وجل الذي جمعنا في هذا المكان المبارك في بيت من بيوته. We are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to begin with it, to gather us in one of these houses, Masjid al-Sabr, in the city of Portland, state of Oregon. After that, this is what Masjid al-Sabr is all about. We cross all the boundaries of nationalism, ethnicity, geographic boundaries. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought us together because we are Muslims. We are Muslims. And those of you who were with us yesterday in the khutbah, I think I elaborated that issue, that if we want to be one ummah, we have to separate ourselves from any description, any attributes other than Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the title of Muslimin. And we have to stay away from everything that can divide us. There's so many things in this contemporary world can divide the Muslims. As you know, my brothers and my sisters, I'm going to leave the United States of America in less than 3 weeks. Going back to my hometown, where I was born and grew up, the city of Hargeisa. By the way, I will try to hold back my emotions. I will try, but those of you who know me, I'm very emotional. So if I get emotional, I hope you will excuse me. It's overwhelming and it's emotional. I will go back and I will leave Mr. Sabr. When I'm saying Mr. Sabr, I should be thankful to the brothers, to the sisters who founded this masjid. For the many years I was in this country and in this city, Masjid al-Sabr for me was everything. I cannot describe my life in America without Masjid al-Sabr. Still, I remember the day I walked in to Masjid al-Sabr, the old masjid, full of students, young students, in their 20s. They were people, I still believe, they were some of the best people that I ever met in my life. Young men full of Islam, fought aggressively against the temptations and the cheap life that young people in America, they go to. They resist. They said no to the shaitanic calls. Even though they were inside university campuses, surrounded by all temptations, you can name it, they were young men who said no to all those things. They didn't say no to the temptations only, but they were du'atun ila Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With their effort, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected Muslim sabr. And if you ever see a amal, righteous deed that is consistent, you have to know probably the people who started, they were sincere. They were sincere. They were not after name. They were not after worldly things. They were just pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I remember those brothers and sisters, at least I would say the brothers that I know them, back in the 80s, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to reward them. Because of their efforts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected in that time. Young Muslim students like me, Masjid al-Sabr is one of the Islamic pillars in this country. No doubt about that. And they were the reason. So, Ikhwani, I have to tell you that it's not easy to live. Most of my life I spent here. This is the member I used to give khutbah for many years. Every Friday, every Jum'ah. So, I met so many good people like you. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He gathered us in this world, He would gather us in paradise. في الفردوس الأعلى. إخوانا على سرر متقابلين. Keep in mind, my brothers and sisters, no matter how much you love somebody and how much you attach to another Muslim or Muslimah, a day will come that you will depart from them or they will depart from you. That's the fact of life. And always, as a Muslims, we say, اللقاء في الجنة. اللقاء في الجنة. إن لم نلتقي مرة أخرى في هذه الدنيا الفانية فنسأل الله عز وجل أن يجمعنا وإياكم الجنة. Always the Muslim should say another Muslim or Muslimah. If we don't meet again in this life, We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather us in paradise. It's a gathering that's not going to have an end forever. Forever. Every gathering in this dunya has an end. But the gathering in paradise, it's not going to have an end. Subhanallah. I'm sure that I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I hope, inshallah, you love me for the sake of Allah azza wa jalla. Subhanallah, somehow I'm losing my thoughts because of the emotions that's coming back to me again and again. When I look at you, subhanallah, almost each one of you, I have a history with him. Brother Yunus, daughter, come on. She wrote for me this card. Very colorful, as you can see, from both sides. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect her and all the Muslim race. She said, Dear Shaykh Muhammad, excuse me. She wrote with different colors. Red and yellow and green, purple and blue. Dear Shaykh Muhammad, I will miss you very much. I will miss you too. She didn't say, we will miss you. Instead, she said, I will miss you. فأسأل الله عز وجل أن يحفظها ويرعاها ويجعلها صالحة. She and all our daughters and our children. I don't want to say that much because I'm finding difficult even to talk. Because I'm very emotional about the event. Jazakumullah khair, all of you for coming. أسأل الله عز وجل أن يعزكم في الدارين وأن يحفظكم يحفظ أهاليكم وأولادكم وبناتكم يحفظ أولادنا وبناتنا وأهلينا. الحب في الله. To love somebody for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla is not easy, ikhwan. So, I want to, touch with you some issues that I feel I have to share with you. For me, going back home, that was my choice. I don't want to go into details, but that was my choice. I decided, and I accepted, and I'm happy with that decision. I'm happy with that decision. It wasn't something I just decided, but it was something I thought about it with my family members, with my mom, with my brothers, with my sister, with my children, with my nieces and nephews, with the leadership of the masjid, with many elder brothers here in the masjid. That is a decision that I made for myself. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I make the right decision. Ikhwani wa akhawati, if there's one thing I want to advise you, is keep your unity. Keep your unity. Nothing should divide you. Nothing should divide you. All these years, we survived it with unity. Yes, we are human beings. Every institution has some inside issues and problems. But overall, alhamdulillah, we succeed to hold all of us, our community together. And that is a success for this masjid. Subhanallah, look how many nationalities are here now. This masjid is not for the Somalis, not for the Arabs, not for the Americans, not for any other nationality. This masjid is for Muslims. Sometimes when we pray Salat al-Fajr, I look and I say, Subhanallah, where you can find this mix of people? Salat al-Fajr. Salat al-Fajr, ya akhi. Africans, Indians, Pakistanis, Arabs, Afghanis, ya ilahi. Bengalis. You say to yourself, where do you find this mix? Your unity and your unity and your unity. Anyone who is trying to divide you, you have to stand against al-hikmati wal-maw'idah, with wisdom and good words. This is the home of your children, ikhwani wa akhwati. Your children. Those youth, I can see them. Some of them, now they are married. They have children, some of them. Some of them, they are now in high school. Some of them, they are in middle school. They don't need problems. They need a comfortable environment. Comfortable environment. That's what you need, unity. And then, when you are talking about Masjid Sabr or any other masjid, don't always ask what you did, what you did. To the leaders of the masjid, say what I did. Very important. What I did for the Muslims and what I did for the community. It is my belief, Masjid Sabr or any other masjid cannot hold the people and tell them you have to do everything through my masjid. That's a wrong approach. Give the people freedom. Wallahi, so many brothers and so many sisters, they will come up with their own projects. And I can name so many programs. The brothers who are here, they are doing their own. Yes, they are working somehow with the masjid, but they own those programs. And they succeed. Relief organizations, youth programs, Quran classes, Eid celebration. Those programs are owned by brothers and sisters. And also, don't expect, ya akhi wa ya ukhti, that the leadership of the masjid or the sheikh of the masjid is perfect. We are all humans. We are all humans. You know, I hate if I always criticize. It's good, because that's how we fix our problems. Okay? What do you call it? The professionals, quality control, right? But the quality control guys, they will give the problem to some people who will find solution. So there has to be a solution for our problems. That's something also I want you to keep in mind. The Eid Salah. I will remind you, the whole idea, or one of the ideas behind Eid Salah is that the Muslims should gather in one place. In one place. And I hope that the Eid Salah that being organized by Masjid Sabr for many years, it will stay the same. And you guys, you want to have 5 other Eid Salah inside the Poland area. What affects your Christ in the Eid gathering is the huge number of Muslims who gather in the same place. From 8,000 to 10,000 Muslims gather every Eid in the convention center or expo center. 8 to 10,000 Muslims. So now, if every 1,000 or 2,000 they start their own Eid, the Eid Salah is going to lose its taste. When you see 10,000 Muslims going to the Oregon Convention Center, filling the streets with the diversity, different colors, different clothes, that's what's going to remind your own child that he's not alone, but all these Muslims are with him. There is a story that one of my friends, he told me, Dr. Mohammed Al-Ahmari, we worked together in Ayana in the 90s. So one time I was with him, I believe I was in Ayana office in Michigan. So we were talking about issues. Dr. Mohammed, Abu Anas Salah, he's a good writer by the way. Yeah. So he told me a story, and he's a good reader. He reads a lot. And the story that he's telling me, maybe it came from his readings. He said there was a Bosnian or Albanian man who accepted Islam. And many years he was a Muslim. He said, after all these years that he was a Muslim, he made Hajj. And he said, when I saw Arafat, and the night of Muzdalifah, he said, my whole Iman, my whole faith took a different direction. Why? The number of Muslims that he saw, them in that day in Arafat or that night in Muzdalifah. Don't underestimate the gatherings of Muslims. It's going to increase your Iman. It's going to increase your Islamic emotions. It's going to make your kids who didn't see the Muslim world that I am not here alone. I am part of this great Ummah. Be united in your Eid Salah. Our advice I'm going to give to you, Ayyuhal Ikhwan. Another advice is, be gentle with the Muslim youth. Be gentle with the Muslim youth. Our kids here are surrounded with a strong culture that's against the deen. It's true. And you have to always realize that we were the reason for them to be in here. ألقاه في اليم مكتوف اليدين ثم قال إياك أن تبتل بالماء. You throw him in the river, you tie his hands, you tie her hand, and you throw him or her in the water. We have to show our kids rahmah, mercy. We have to make them feel that we love them. Not to say, oh Baba, I love you. No, by your actions. They are not them. From your actions. Even if you yell to them sometimes, they will know because they've been with you all these years that you love them. And the most thing that can break your heart is to see them down in their Islam, in their deen. That's what Muslim parents always, everything you can tolerate, but you cannot tolerate the suffering of your own children. And that's how you can show them love. You might encounter some of our kids doing some nasty things. But Ikhwani, you have to be patient. I read Shaykh Muhammad Salih al-Uthaymeen, rahmatullahi alayhi, saying, he said sometimes, and keep this in mind, Ikhwani, he said sometimes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قد يبتلي الرجل الصالح بولده. Allah might test you as a father and as a mother. Test you what? With your own child. يا ولدي صلي، يا ولدي اقرأ القرآن، يا ولد. Some parents, they face that. One thing the Shaykh said, rahmatullahi alayhi, he said, أخي لا تدعو عليه. And I advise you. يا أخي تسمعني؟ لا تدعو على ولدك ولا تدعو على بنتك أبدا حتى لو جننوك. If they drive you crazy, never open your mouth and make dua against your uncles, because it's going to break their backs. No doubt about that. دعاء الوالد على ولده, it won't fall on the floor. It's going to hit them. يا أخي ويا أختي, if you believe or you are making dua against your own children that Allah is going to accept your dua, why don't believe that if you make dua for them تقول الله مصلحه يا الله, Allah مصلحه, oh Allah, bring him back. Do you believe that Allah is going to accept your dua? النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said في الحديث, لا تدعوا على أولادكم. Don't make dua against your children. This reminds me a story that one Muslim kid, he drove his parents crazy. Man, they try everything possible. This boy is not listening. Do you see sometimes the kids there like that? Oh, I know everything. I know what I'm doing. Right? I born here. I didn't born in a Muslim country. Yeah, we know that. We know. The other day, a Somali kid, mashallah alayhi, I think he's going to work in Nike, he finished school. He just came to me here and he said, Shaykh Muhammad. I said, yes. Do you remember me? He said, I grew up in here. I grew up in here. So what's happening? Oh yeah, we moved to Columbus, Ohio, alhamdulillah, and things like this. One compliment that he gave to me, he said, you didn't change, your face is the same. And I said, so Muhammad, alhamdulillah, he gave me a good compliment. Yeah. So, what he told me, and the young boys, please, and the young sisters, young girls upstairs, listen to this. He said, Shaykh Muhammad, I used to be a troublemaker. Now he's married, mashallah. He finished school. He's going to work in Nike. He found a job. He said, I used to be a troublemaker. I gave hard time to my mom. Alhamdulillah, now he has a beard, he's married, and I'm sure his mom and dad, they would just make dua for him. If he's late at night time, don't say like the Somali mother, some of them, how can you get help? Or in Arabic they say, Allah يأخذه. لا تقول هذا أبدا، لا تقول الله يأخذه، ولا تقول إله كان ميل بسطه ويدبه. No, هذا ادعي ولا اللهم صلح اللهم رده إلينا اللهم رده إلى المسجد. So the other boy, his father and his mom, they try everything. One day he came to them and he said to them, listen. Oh no, he was away from home some nights. They were with him everywhere. They tried to find him, they couldn't find him, and then he came back. He came back to apologize? No, he came back to put in front of them his new agenda. What is his agenda? Listen guys, mom and dad, I'm old enough, I'm 18, don't tell me when to come home and don't ask me where I was. Period, finish. Commanding. No. Then the father, he went to the masjid. He said with the sheikh, you know, you need a sheikh who can understand the kids, right? He said, yeah, sheikh, this is my problem. The mother is khalas, I'm khalas. I cannot breathe. He said, let me ask you something. He said, did you ever make dua for your son? Oh no. You are looking all the doors except the door of Allah. Except the door of Allah. Ya akhi, روح وادعو لولد. Go and make dua for your son. He went back and kept making dua. Akhi, this is a true story. Somebody who knows this story, he told me. He kept making dua, and then one night, he had a son. He thought that his son is coming late at night, as usual. And the poor father, he's in a point that he afraid from his own child. Because if he screams on him, he will say, well, you are doing this. He grabs his backpack and he leaves the house. A problem that many Muslim parents, they are facing. So he said, nobody came in the house. And he just heard somebody's in the bathroom. This time, his son is making wudu. His son is making wudu. And then he went to his home and he's praying. And he's making dua. And he's asking forgiveness for his parents. The father initiated. The first reaction that he did was سجد لله سجد الشكر. He made سجد الشكر. Allah. What I'm saying to you here, Ikhwani, is Ya akhi wa ya ukhti, never give up in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qadir. Allah is capable to give hidayah to your kids. Making dua. But there is one thing I'm telling the boys and the girls. Sometimes will happen is, even if your parents, they don't make dua against you, which I'm sure they won't do, but to make them sad. You know the feeling? You will never have that feeling except when you get your own child. I cannot explain to you. The experts, the psychiatrists, the medical doctors, they cannot describe you what kind of sadness is. Only a parent knows that. Every time you make your parents sad, and he feels, she feels, I afraid for you that Allah will punish you then. My friend. So never, always communicate with your parents. Don't scream at your parents. Reason with them. I know you guys, you grow up in here, but you grow up in a masajid. You know the deen. Don't be like that boy who used to, took off at night time. And what happened to his mom? What's happening to his father? Maybe he is with other Muslim kids. He's not doing anything haram. But because they don't know where he is, they can't sleep. Oh, it's going to happen. Oh, it's going to happen. Some of them, they may say, I don't know if the police will knock the door now, 3 o'clock at night time, and tell me, oh, something happened to your son. Some happened. Why you have to make your parents go to Daddy Akhi? Why? So this is one thing you need to keep in mind. ولن تجد معينا في هذه الدنيا بعد رحمة الله عليك مثل دعاء والديك لك. No help after Allah you will find in this life like the dua of your parents. The dua of your parents. That's the other thing that I advise you, inshallah. One last thing is, and I should say this, if you don't know, be part of the masjid, work with the masjid. The masjid has a board of trustee, a legitimate board of trustee that I shared with you their names before. Alhamdulillah, the brothers who are in the board of trustee, I know them. They are not sticking with their positions. They are willing to leave their positions and give to other brothers through the legal process according to the constitution of the masjid. They are willing to do that. Some of them, they've been working for the masjid for a long time. Your responsibility towards them is that you advise them. And their responsibility is to share with you everything that's going in the masjid with a full transparency. شفافية كاملة. Those brothers, their names in my right side, Khuna Imtiaz Sirin, طارق الجزائري اليسير, عبد الوكيل الأفغاني يسير ما شاء الله, الدكتور عصام خاطري في سيسير. He's in the back. Okay, he's in the back. اللهم صل على محمد. خالد العليمي. You grew up in this masjid. You need to pay back to the masjid, إخواني. You need to pay back to the masjid. You have to be part of the process. You have to be active in the masjid. You have to be active in the masjid. So this is the board of the masjid. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will give them guidance, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect them. And these brothers, one thing you need to remember, they are volunteers. They don't take money from the masjid. They are doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so they can maintain this masjid. They are serving the community. So at least we respect them and we advise them. Those are the things that can come to my mind. So inshallah, again, jazakumullah khairan, all of you. ونسأل الله عز وجل أن يرحمنا وإياكم. But before I end, إخواني, for me, I forgive you. I forgive you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, I am asking you to forgive me. And if you are not forgiving me, tell me. I'm still here 2 weeks, less than 3 weeks. You come to me and you tell me what you want from me. فأغلى شيء عندي إنه you guys you forgive me. We are human beings. We make mistakes. We have our faults. So what's your answer, guys?
Forgive you.
في الدنيا والآخرة. جميع إن شاء الله مساء إن شاء الله. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. أحسن الله فيك. أحسن الله فيك. إن شاء الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Please give us just a few minutes. First of all, to Sheikh Hamad, I love you for the sake of Allah. And I'm sure all of us love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's an American saying that it is better to have loved than lost, to have never loved at all. And that is, we know we will lose you from here, but that love will remain with us. And it is a love built on the deen of Islam, where we as your students took from you what we could never have taken from anyone else. The gifts you gave us can never be given by anyone else. And I know for myself, I'm very appreciative of that. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept that from you. All of the brothers and sisters that are here, they're witnesses about the kind of Sheikh our Sheikh Muhammad is. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him. All of us have witnessed his knowledge and learned from him. But more than that, that witnessed his akhlaq, his sincerity, that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. But we are the witnesses on earth. We see with our eyes and we hear with our ears. So we are witnesses to the character. And it's a special breed of shuyukh that unfortunately is dying. And we have one Sheikh Hamad, and it will be very, very sad that we will miss him as he departs, inshallah, to something that's better. So first of all of us, please make dua for him and his family. What he's done for us, I know we can never repay him, but we can always keep him in our dua, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow him to fulfill his dreams, whatever they are. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah and khair in his life, whatever is left in efficiency, so that all of those things that he wasn't able to do because of the situation that he was in, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open those doors to him and he will be able to accomplish it in the next chapter of his life. Anyone else who's here, we want to give a chance to you, maybe just a quick 30 seconds or a minute. If you want to say anything to him, this is your chance. So please come up, say what you want. Please, brother, come.
لازم تيجي تزورنا كمان. مش معناته انه ما بتيجي تزورنا، لانه في طيارات وان شاء الله بنشوفك مرة ثانية.
I have known Sheikh Muhammad since back in 1986-87, that area when he came. I have been in the community for 46 years, and I live 5 minutes from the masjid. One of the most beautiful thing in my life, I have gone through seeing my 2 sons leave this world in the last 20 years. The comfort that Sheikh Muhammad brought to me, I can't explain that in words. I just can't explain it in words. The most beautiful time that I feel like that's the time of paradise is the first 2 hours I spend in this masjid every morning, except when I'm traveling or I have a jet lag. I travel quite a bit. From little bit before Fajr till Ishraq time. This brother is here. So, La ilaha illallah means that there is no one worthy of worship, but only and only and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this masjid, I bear witness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at my age of 63. Most of my life I've spent here. I have never, ever seen this masjid compromise on Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So even though Sheikh Muhammad, you'll be leaving us, but to me, you are not a noun, you are a word. You will be around us forever and ever and ever, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make everything come easy for you. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put khair and barakah for the whole ummah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Jazakallah khair. I don't want to delay too much on the food, but I do want to take advantage of this, so just we'll make it quick, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Sheikh Muhammad, Habibi, this is my Sheikh. This is like my father and my uncle. When Sheikh Muhammad is talking about the youth, I am one of the youth that he watched me grow up. I was born and raised in Kuwait. And Sheikh Muhammad is the closest that I can feel that I'm close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Islam. This is the Sheikh that always brings me back. And this is the Sheikh that I really look up to in my life. When I had my first son, this is the Sheikh I couldn't wait to show him and tell him about my life. And there's not one time Sheikh Muhammad even put me down. Always advised me, and always encouraged me, and always treated me like his son. And when I come to the masjid, no matter what salat, he would not miss me. He would talk to everybody. He would look into your eyes like he's talking to each soul in this masjid, and you would feel it. So Sheikh Muhammad, I just wanted to say, I love you for the sake of Allah. May Allah gather us again in this dunya and in Jannat al-Firdaus, Ya Rabbi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is really difficult for me to say goodbye to the person whom I love him very deeply. I learned from him as a sheikh, as a brother. I don't see him as a khatib of Imam Masjid only. He is with me as a person, as a community altogether. From a community, when one person is living from this world and pass away, he is the first person we contact him for any kind of funeral process. If we are having a wedding and one of our children grown up and our daughter is grown up, when they reach to the age of marriage, he is the first person we contact him. He is not only our khatib, he is everything for us. Honestly, it is very difficult for me to say him goodbye. He is, as a father, for our children. He taught them, he teach them, he brought. Probably a lot of kids now who are in the age of 20s, when they were playing here back, he collect them and he teach them, he sit with them regardless who they are. Sheikh Muhammad is everything for us. It is really difficult for me to say goodbye, but still I wish him, if I'm missing him in this world, by the will of Allah, I will meet him. All of us will meet him in Firdaus al-A'la. I will say one verses of the Quran. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying for his slave. Ya ibadi, la khawfun alaykum al-yawma wa la antum tahzanun. Alladhina amanu wa kanu yattaqun. لهم البشرى في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهيه الأنفس وتلذ الأعين وأنتم فيها خالدون. May Allah make him among those slaves whom Allah make them in this, mention them in this ayah. بإذن by the will of Allah. I know from the history, for those who are staying in course, for those who are not compromising with their religion, if one door is closed, always and always there is another door open. No doubt about it. This dunya is not forever. This dunya is not everlasting. But for those who stay, for those who hold with the rope of Allah, La ilaha illallah, no matter how they are going to go through difficulties, Allah is always with them. And I say lastly, we miss you. May Allah be with you. May Allah protect you. May Allah gather all of us with Sheikh Muhammad in Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la. Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As many of you know, I took Shahada about 9 years ago, and I met Sheikh Muhammad about a year after that. And since then, he has been like a father, like an uncle, like my young brother said. And I've always gone to him for advice. I'm just going to tell you one story of the many pieces of advice that he gave me. One time, we were sitting over there in the masjid, and the Sheikh was sitting in a chair like this. And I went to him, I said, Sheikh, I'm concerned. And he said, Brother Yunus, what is your concern? I said, my concern is that I feel I may have kibr, arrogance. Then he looked at me very kindly, and he didn't say anything for a few moments. And then he said, Brother Yunus, do you ask others for their advice? Do you ask for advice of other people? And I said, sometimes. And he said, just do that. That was the end of his advice. Very clear, very short, and correct. Now, I'm not going to get into a long speech or lecture, but a lot of you know that although the Sheikh has chosen what he is chosen to do, to return to his home. The situation of how it happened was brought about by him standing where I'm standing right now and speaking to this microphone. Khutbah, night speeches, dars, speaking over and over and over and over again the things that are the haqq. When a person stands in the minbar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and speaks the haqq, there are those who will gather against that person. This happened with Quraysh, and this will happen until Yawm al-Qiyamah comes. Wallahi, the Shaykh never stood down from what he knew to be the haqq in his heart. And wallahi, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends us another Shaykh that does the same, we should say takbir, so that the neighbors can hear it. Inshallah ta'ala, this will happen. And inshallah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect our Shaykh to his last breath. He will die with Iman and go as a shaheed to Jannah Firdaus. Ameen. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
My name is MOHAMED ABDIRAHMAN. I grew up here as a child and still now. I grew up watching Sheikh Mohammed doing his thing, and then and then one time before I went to bed, this was when I was 4 years old, I would say to myself, will I become like this Imam when I grow up, or will I become something else? Sheikh Mohammed was a role model to me and still is, and I hope that one day I'll become like him and will lead other places around the world.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Everybody spoke out, but the reason I stood up is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alim, taking from one place to another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan. Ya ibn Adam, anta turid, wa ana urid, wallahu yaf'al ma yurid. Sheikh Mohammed, I introduced myself back 90s. The first day I met him in Virginia, Darul Hijrah, he delivered the khutbah. So, inshallah, since then I moved to Portland, I met him here, and we almost passed for the last 25 years here in this city. Sheikh Mohammed he's my Sheikh. He taught me قواعد اللغة العربية, النحو, الدرومية. He is my Sheikh. At the same time, sometimes with Sheikh Mohammed, he's my classmate also. And he hunting for the ulama from Hind, from Pakistan, I just connected him with the Ethiopian ulama. Later on, when I traveled to Ethiopia, I brought for him Kitab al-Sanad, Burhan al-Musaddad fi Turuq al-Ijazat wal-Sanad. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is willing. Sheikh Mohammed is taking something to Somalia, inshallah, which is not found right now, most of the part of the world, in the Muslim world. And we need somebody who replaces us in that issue, especially that's halaq al-masjid, and seeking the ilm, the knowledge. Inshallah, I will meet him here in this dunya or in the outer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I speak my mother language. waxaan ku hadlahayaa luqadayda. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mar labaad Sheekh Mohamed waan ogahay inaadan dhimanin laakiin inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raaji'uun. waxaa weeye annaga hadda waxaan nooga baahantahay duco wax kaloo nooga baahantahay ma laha wixii masaajidka lagula dardaarmi lahaa wixii community-ka lagula dardaarmi lahaa adaa yidhi laakiin waxaan ogahay haddaad ka tagta meesha inay dhib badan jiro inaanan laga qarin maxay jirto laakiin waxbaa nagu soo fakaday annaga dhib badan baa nagu yimid ilaahay saahnoo gargaara adiga waxaan ku leeyahay إلهي جنة حقوقي إلهي ما لا تتبع الإيمان هكسي أنك نبدل كاري وخير قبل إلهي هاي نسي وكوحي سينا وكوحي سنين وحيوكوح عفية مسافة عليها أنا أوروبا نقول حتى أنا سيوانك هذا مسجد السبع هذا سومالي من كان نويس حي ونمنا إلى ونمنا شو نعود إلهي ديبان كسي.
We just have one last person, inshallah, but a quick announcement. There's some people that blocked some cars in the new.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sheikh Mohammed. I saw him first time in Toronto, Canada. And then I told him I'm coming here. And when I came here, the first time I did is I saw him and Brother Isa in the old masjid. That was in 1995. And the first thing they did is they took me to Skippers for eating fish. So it was good. From that time until now, I have a good relationship with Sheikh Mohammed. He is a mentor, he is an advisor. But one thing I want to say about Sheikh Mohammed, no matter what, he will stick to the straight path. Always. We have our differences, and over the years, we have to learn, and he has to learn. And one thing I noticed is that he always learned. He learned about the needs of the English, he learned about the needs of the sisters, about the needs of this and that. And he always asks for feedback. I know I used to give him lots of feedback from my girls. And he used to listen. And he used to advise, and he used to take it. And no matter what, and how the relationship was, he knows that I love him for sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him great success in the future. And I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him for everything he did in this community. You know, people know he said the truth even if they disagree with him. And I have noticed all the other messages, all the other leaders, all the people. You know, when somebody dies, they want to bring him to this masjid. To this masjid. Why? Do you know why? It's because Sheikh Mohammed is here. It's because that this masjid is and will be in the future the light in this locality and also in the country. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him and reward you all for coming. And I know I missed my spot to be first in line for food, but I forgive you.
Please, last one. Normally I don't like to come to talk in front of the people so many times. But I have known Sheikh Mohammed, mashallah, for almost over 20 years. He is my sheikh. Everything I need advice, I go to him all the time. And mashallah, he gives you very good advice. And this masjid, since I've been to this masjid has gone through a lot of hardship. And Sheikh Mohammed, mashallah, he is a very strong man. But he went through a lot of hardship. So he is, mashallah, very strong man. Very strong man. But one thing that I want to mention about Sheikh Mohammed, the quality he has, that I admire him all the time, he is very, very kind And also, he's with the children, he's like a child. With the youth, like a youth. With the elderly people, he's like elderly. He's, mashallah, he gets along with everyone. And he is a person that keeps intact this masjid to go through a lot of hardship and still going and keeping the community all together intact. And I really admire his leadership and also his knowledge. We're going to miss him a lot, and I don't want to keep the brothers for a long time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
The brothers, they said so many things. They said so many things about me. I don't believe I have those qualities and those attributes. And they praise me in front of my face. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah only knows what's in the hearts. And what counts in the day of Qiyamah is what's in the heart. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Him, Azza wa Jal, that I am in a status عند الله عز وجل or better than what the people they think about me. Allah knows that. People they judge you of what they see. But there's a lot of things that they don't know about you. God, they say so many things about me, and sincerely, I believe I'm not that person, and if I am close to the person that they talk about him, ونسأل الله عز وجل بأسماء الحسنى وصفات العلى أن يرزقنا وإياكم الصدق والإخلاص، وأن يجعلنا وإياكم من عباده الصالحين، وأن يغفر لنا ولكم. جزاكم الله خير.
We will start our program, inshallah, downstairs. We need a few volunteers to help with the food and so in the cleaning. So go here. Sheikh Hamad, what he said at the end, definitely you are more than what we said, Sheikh. And that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I encourage and I remind all the brothers and sisters, please keep them in your dua until your last second.
Ask them to go down, everyone go down for food.
Everyone go downstairs, inshallah, for food.
And sisters upstairs. Sisters upstairs.
sheekh maxamed ilaahay horta nabad geeyo anagana ilaahay sheekh maxamed ilaahay nabad geeyo sheekh maxamed wuxuu noo ahaa astaan xagga diinta islaamka dhaqanka waxa sheekh waxa weeye waqti culimada maanta way isbedelaan sheekh waxa weeyaan wadada saxa hadii jeer abaara oo ka leexanin runta waxa ay tahay diinta saxa caruurtana astaan buu ahaa ilaahay waxaan ka baryaynaa inuu khayr ku geeyo nabad ku geeyo meesha ilaahayna yaa aakhira iyo